Prestige worldwide.
Prestige worldwide.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Dropkick Murphys.
Tessie is the Royal Rooters rally cry. Tessie is the tune they always sung. Tessie echoed April through October nights after serenade installed the Nene Young. Tessie is a maiden with a sparkling eyes. Tessie is a maiden with a love. She doesn't know the meaning of her side. She's got a comment full of love.
John Henry and Larry Lucchino and whomever, what they tried to do is they just changed the beneficiaries and the trustees on the operating trust, okay? Which is fine, that's a perfectly legal way to do things. The only thing is they sold the team for somewhere in the range of, what, $500 million or whatever it was. But you have to pay a deeds excise tax on that transfer of $750 million. But by just simply trying to change the beneficiaries, they did not pay the stamp, which was in somewhere in the range of about $2 or $3 million, if I remember correctly. Whatever it was, it's deeds excise is calculated $4.56 per thousand. So if it's $1 million property, it's basically what, $4,056, $560, right? Mm-hmm. So obviously, as you start getting into hundreds of millions of dollars, you start talking about tax stamps that are worth millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. So that was really the story behind that transaction, was that we ended up having to go and report them to the Department of Revenue. Eventually they came around. I think we actually didn't take the certificate, and then after some back and forth they paid the deeds excise. Well, yeah, what happened is really the story behind registered land is this. It's only in like 3 states. It's like Massachusetts, might be like Illinois, and maybe Hawaii. It's not very widely used. Mm-hmm. But it was developed by Lord Torrens. That's why sometimes you hear it called the Torrens system. Okay. Down in Australia. And it's basically, they had a new continent and they had to figure out how to slice it up, right? Mm-hmm. So he came up with this system with registered land where you get your certificate of title, right? And then you get your encumbrance pages that basically show like what's related to the document, okay? Sure. And it worked down there, and then basically the situation up here was, obviously, as we're all well aware, or we should be anyway, we weren't the first people on this continent, right? Mm-hmm. So there was a lot of concern, especially down in the Cape, Barnstable County, Plymouth County, mm-hmm. about superior title and questionable title to lands, right? Mm-hmm. So what they did is the state said, okay, we're going to bring in this torrent system to make the land more marketable. In other words, the state's going to guarantee the title, okay? That's why you have registered land, okay? Principally, that was the commercial reason for it. Now, you also have kind of the Hatfield and McCoy situations. 2 neighbors hate each other's guts, and eventually they say, that's my tree, and the other guy says, that's my tree. They go to land court, and they basically issue a certificate of title saying Hatfield owns this and McCoy owns that, and they register it. So you get like disputes, mm-hmm. but principally the reason for registered land was to basically make land more marketable. So when they made it more marketable, obviously one of the concerns was, well, we're going to guarantee the title. So if we're going to guarantee it, we don't want someone coming along in 21 years and saying, mm-hmm. oh, by the way, I was parking my car here and now I own this. So as part of putting in the torrent system, they said when you have registered land, you cannot have it adversely possessed. So that was kind of the reason. It has really to do with the fact that the state guarantees the title. Okay. Where if it's private sector and which is basically what most of this land is, 90% is recorded, it's owned privately, you're left to your own vices. You leave alone the land for 21 years and someone comes on and lives in it and beats you into the court and claims it. We don't care too much about that because it's private. Right. But if the Commonwealth's back in the title, we don't want adverse possession.
Right. Are there any issues, though, that ever come up? Okay.
I mean, no. I mean, really, that's why, as you do your research, the essence of a deed is you got your grantors and your grantees, right? You have your tenancy. You guys will learn about that, right? Then you have your consideration, which we like to know how much you paid for it. And there's, but the other thing I'll just give you a sign is everyone's consumed now about privacy. Privacy. Doesn't apply. We don't care. In Suffolk, the world wants to know who owns the land. So every now and then I'll get some zany call me in and you take my name off that and you got to remove. No, go to Superior Court, sue us. We've been doing it this way for 400 years. We get statutes that say you're going to have a sound economic system and you're going to protect the value of lands. You have to have that information available to people. So, grantor, grantee, tenancy, consideration, and then you have your legal description, right? After your legal description, you always have a section that says, for my title C, deed from Peppermint Patty to Charlie Brown at book ABCXYZ, and then signed, notarized, right? That's all there is to a deed.